Thank you. I have to update Amanda's brief bio. First of all, I'm 11 years old. And after my last venture, I decided I didn't want to work anymore, so I became a college professor. I like saying that because it annoys my colleagues who think that I'm stressed out I have to write a syllabus. So, in the area of being a college professor and consulting, I decided to do both of those in the area of entrepreneurship, having been an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs do hate me for a variety of reasons. One, because I always tell the truth, except for the 11-year-old thing. And most entrepreneurs, people starting a business, don't want to hear the truth. The Jack Nicholson line from that movie, you can't handle the truth. Example, I taught for a few years at Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton. And there must be something about being in the sun and the water. And in my entrepreneurship classes, every term, there were 2 to 3 groups of students who wanted to start a gentleman's club. I said, okay, tell me about it. Well, we're going to have free drinks for the ladies from 9 to 11. We're going to have this big U-shaped bar so we can serve many people having drinks. And we're going to have 25 flat panel TVs around so that people can watch any sports event that they want. And we're going to have theme nights. We're going to have a Caribbean night. We're going to have a jungle night. We're going to have a Southwest night. And they'd be glowing how great it is. And then I'd say, okay, now tell me something different. And they'd get annoyed at me, hence the entrepreneurs hate me. All gentlemen's clubs are exactly the same. You have to do something different. Now, entrepreneurial success requires being different. I hear people talking all the time, I want to be an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, whatever the word means. It's lost meaning after a while for various reasons. I lived in Boston for many years, west of the city. One day, a kid that I've seen growing up from the time he was little to the point he graduated high school, he knocks on my door and he says, Mr. Samit, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I said, that's great, what are you doing? He said, I'm mowing lawns. So the word, not that there's anything wrong with mowing lawns, the only thing that there's something wrong with is having a lawn that has to be mowed. I'm not going to spend any time on this chart, but entrepreneurship is important because it creates jobs. Jobs create tax revenue for governments, whether they're local governments or federal governments, and it makes money for people. That's why governments and individuals invest in entrepreneurship. They want to be able to build companies that have some value. Now, being different. Is anybody out there in the audience different? A few of you. Very few people are different. Why? Because we don't want to admit we're different. We're trained not to be different. And the failure of most entrepreneurial ventures, and it's a high rate of failure, is that they're not really different. The highest rate of failure of any business is a restaurant. And I get countless people in my class that say, I'm going to open an Italian restaurant. My God, why didn't I think of that? Successful people, successful companies are different. The business plans and ideas are a dime a dozen. People come to me and say, I have a great idea. I have great ideas all day long. That doesn't mean it's a business opportunity. because most of the ideas tend to be exactly the same. And part of the problem is it's not the entrepreneur's fault. The fault is our educational system. The educational system, not of the school, formal, just of the schools, but of you guys who are parents who have kids. It's your fault. And the reason that it's fault, you give them the same books, the same courses to take, base things on the same successes. Why can't you be like your brother? That's not good advice necessarily. And in upbringing, your parents told you not to make waves. Don't rock the boat. If you said that to your kids, you're a terrible parent, and it's your fault if they become serial killers. To keep on the educational theme, it's not just me. Rakesh Karan is a professor at Harvard Business School. Hardly any entrepreneurs have MBAs. I see it now as a college professor. Everybody wants to get an MBA. I think you can go to Wilson Farms and get an MBA today. Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, some of you may be members of LinkedIn, he takes it further. MBAs are negative predictors of entrepreneurial success. Why is that? Well, in MBA school, we're taught not to take risks or mitigate our risks, makes them as low as possible. We're taught not to be contrarians. What if one of your kids comes home to you and says, Mom, I'm going to be a contrarian? They probably are by nature. You say, no, 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 we want you to fit in. Now, we know the typical entrepreneurial issues, but the one that I want to focus on today is this idea of being different. What's the basis of different? It's finding that niche, that group of customers that will pay for this product, and being able to attract the attention of that niche. Now, the idea of the word niche, let me go back on this. That's different. Is that art? Well, most of the world would probably say no, but Jackson Pollock, for those people who like Jackson Pollock, that's art. Some people like it. A niche of people like the artwork of Jackson Pollock. Take a niche, ID it, profile it, your target market of paying customers. You want to be an entrepreneur, somebody has to pay you. That's why I say grandmothers are useless. Don't tell me your grandmother likes your idea. That doesn't mean anything to anybody. Your niche. A couple definitions of niche that we have. And it talks, none of the reason entrepreneurs hate the definition, because they assume it means small. In the definitions, there's nothing about niche that's small. And a distinct segment. What I like to tell people when I'm consulting is that it's this distinct segment that will pay for this thing that I have. You want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be able to focus in that direction. The second item up here, talk about that in a second. My first company was in a field called computer graphics. When we were in computer graphics, the analysts, venture capitalists, and gurus of the world told us there was no such thing. We pursued it anyway. Concurrently, there was some company called Apple Computer. In the 80s, Apple Computer ran a very successful advertising campaign called Think Different. I like to take it further and say it should be different. It doesn't matter what you think. Can you actualize those thoughts? And at the same time, Apple managed to put graphics on a personal computer. Up until that time, graphics were on high-end computers, the air traffic controllers used, et cetera, et cetera. And they ran this campaign with famous celebrities like John Lennon, Picasso, and my favorite, Kermit. These are all examples of ads that Apple ran at that time. When they came out with their personal computer that showed graphics, they needed something to manipulate the graphics. Our product sold in the $2,500 to $5,000 range. And went to people and said, can we build a product that we can sell for $500 and yet make money on? And everyone's answer was no. But our engineers pursued it, and we became different. We came out with a product, and the previous picture was we made that product for Apple and sold it to them. Apple was different, we were different. We probably didn't know it at the time. Maybe people don't know they're different at that time, but you have to be different to succeed. And our niche, when people don't like the word niche, this was our niche of customers. Is there anything fancy or exciting or sexy about these customers? I don't know. I'm sure there are sexy cartographers around, but I don't know if that's a group that really attracts people. Now, being different involves selecting the niche, attracting attention, and understanding that although only a few of you mentioned that you were different, people like to be treated as different. The airlines, the credit card companies understand this. We all like to get a premier credit card, and we belong to the elite club. We like that. Entrepreneurs have to use that, and what happens is many entrepreneurs don't use that because they don't like it. Areas to be different in. Think of companies that have been successful. Obviously, we think about a product or service that's different. But marketing. Apple's a genius at marketing. Geico sells insurance. How boring can insurance be? Yet we watch the gecko run around and we think those ads are great. There's something different in marketing. Selling. Are there different ways to sell? That's what made Dell Computer rich. Dell Computer grow, made Michael Dell rich. Selling computers is not new, but selling them by calling a 1-800 number was new. Going online to their website and configuring your Dell computer yourself, picking the monitor size you wanted, picking how much memory you wanted. That was a different way of selling. Technology has enabled companies to sell online. The stupidest idea in the world. I'm going to go online and buy a book. Isn't that stupid? I can go to Borders and Barnes & Noble and Walden and buy a book. Why would I get onto my computer and buy a book? Isn't that stupid? Jeff Bezos should be shot for coming up with an idea like that. The stupid ideas can be successful. Shipping and logistics. See, the thing is, you don't have to do anything new. You can do the same thing in a different way. Let me get back to product for a second. Starbucks. Buying coffee? I can go to any gas station and buy coffee, but I can't pay $4 for it at a gas station. And I can't sit in a soft sofa. That's what it is. That's what Starbucks is. Shipping and logistics. I can send this letter for 21 cents, and this guy comes to me and says, for $18, I'll deliver it overnight. What another stupid idea. Sending letters by airplane. Wow. That was different. That's what made that company successful. Now, how to be different. Some of these I've talked about, but let me talk about my favorite, better. For those of you who want to start a business, or have friends, relatives, whatever, want to start a business, describe your product, your service, write a business plan without ever using the word better. Can't do it. Try to describe your vacation. What do people say? Well, last summer I went to Barbados. The summer before I went to Cozumel. Barbados was better than Cozumel. That means absolutely nothing. Doesn't tell me anything about it. I like Coke better than Pepsi. That doesn't mean anything. Eliminate the word better from your language if you want to start a business, because it forces you to describe the benefit of your product service to that niche of customers that you're selling it to. Better by itself means absolutely nothing. Thank you.